All right, so welcome, John,
And
officially to the afternoon session. So let's just jump straight into it.
yeah,
At least you can join us soon. So I'm just going to share my screen. So I thought that was for the Scottish contingent. We've got quite a large Scottish contingent now.
yeah, yeah.
I actually want to ask them if it actually is a Scottish proverb. If they've ever heard of
Yeah,
it or not. A willing mind makes a light foot.
yeah. Well,
Um,
it sounds like it could be.
yeah, could be. So light, really what it's saying is the lightness of in our mind leads to lightness in our doing. Um, and we carry that light into our thoughts, our emotions, our words, our actions. And this whole path is really about bringing that light or awareness of this eternal infinite presence or awareness of love into our daily lives. So being light-hearted, carefree, happiness, peace, love, flow, these are all the characteristics of enlightenment. I thought in that movie it was quite well demonstrated.
Yeah, it was. Yeah, and disciples. Yeah,
Jesus and the disciples, there was a kind of a lightness to their
yeah,
step, and Jesus was so gentle and loving and joyful, and just there was happiness, which was a stark contrast to what was going on with the Romans and the Jews. Um,
yeah.
there was no happiness and no lightness there. It was all scheming and heaviness and darkness, and I think that was one of the things that got Clavius's kind of attention and helped him to shift as well. He was like, wow, these guys are so happy and so loving. He's seemingly the enemy, and they're bringing him water. It's like, okay, this is not what I'm used to, at all. So let's go straight into the lesson then, which is all about light. So you want to read the key lesson, and then
I will there be light, true awareness.
yeah. So I'm just translating light. This is actually quite a monster to translate. It took me like an hour to do it.
Oh,
There's
right. Okay.
loads of terms, but anyway, well, so read the first the traditional paragraph, and then
Today
the
we are
second one, and we'll unpack it line by line on the second reading.
today we are considering the will you share with God. This is not the same as the ego's idle wishes, out of which darkness and nothingness arise. The will you share with God has all the power of creation in it. The ego's idle wishes are unshared and therefore have no power at all. Its wishes are not idle in the sense that they can make a world of illusions in which your belief can be very strong. But they are idle indeed in terms of creation. They make nothing that is real. Alternatively, today we are considering the awareness you share with love, pure formless awareness. This is not the same as the belief in separation's idle wishes, out of which limited awareness and nothingness arise.
Okay, any thoughts on that?
Yep. Okay. So today, it's just making a differentiating between the awareness we have in pure formless awareness compared to the ego's, the belief in separation's idle wishes,
And
out of
that's the
which,
will you share with God. So it's useful to reference to the original phrase. The will you share with God is that awareness that you share with pure formless awareness.
so he's saying also that ego's awareness doesn't, it's nothing arises out of it.
Yeah. So limited, I've translated darkness as limited awareness.
Okay.
So any kind of limits to your awareness when you're feeling not expansive. Oh, there's Iona. Didn't think she would join us today.
Okay.
She's still in London, I think. She said she's flying back.
Oh, right. Okay.
But she's obviously managed to take some time out of her hectic social schedule.
Mm.
Welcome, Iona. How are you? You got looks like palm trees in the background there. Are you in London? She's just trying to connect. She's on her phone. Okay.
Maybe she was at the airport.
So no, do they have palm trees at the airport?
I've not seen any.
Hi,
But
Iona. How are you?
Hey, yeah, good. Sitting in a cafe in South London. Good.
Okay. Yeah,
Yeah.
welcome. Looks like
Thank
you
you.
could be on a beach or something.
Yeah, this is Brockwell Lido,
Okay. Nice.
outdoor swimming. Yeah.
Okay. Excellent. So you got a palm tree in the background. So welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
Nice joining.
I've got a little while before I need to go and get a train.
Yes. Okay. Great. So yeah, we've got a power cut in just over an hour. So try and get
Oh,
okay, so we're just reading number one. John, you know what you're saying?
yeah, well, we're just down to the alternate translation. First couple of sentences said that the awareness of pure love, not the same as the belief in egos. The awareness you share with love, pure formless awareness, has all the power of extension in it. Now, whereas the belief in separation, idle wishes are unshared and therefore have no power. So it's basically drawing a distinction between the awareness of love compared to the awareness of the ego.
yeah.
Yeah.
Where?
And that love is shared, and the ego's idle wishes, he calls them. So these are the desires of the ego. He's actually talking about desire and fear, desire and grievances, craving and aversion, like called in Buddhism. He calls them idle wishes and grievances. So they're unshared, therefore have no power at all because they're not shared. Only what's shared comes from love by definition. I just mute you, because you've got quite a bit of background noise there. So, and then just the last couple.
Yeah. Well, the belief in separations, idle wishes are unshared and have no power at all. Its wishes are not idle in the sense that they make a world of illusion in which we can believe if we so choose and can be extreme, but they are idle in terms of the real world.
No, in terms of extending the truth, they make nothing that is real. So, idea of this kind of fake, illusory world that the false belief in separation has made. And he says, these illusions, your belief can be very strong in these illusions. Well, yes, that's why they seem to have power.
Yeah.
We've invested so much belief in them. But they are idle indeed in terms of extending the truth. They make nothing that is real. It's a pretty clear introductory paragraph. Any questions on that?
No, I think it's straightforward.
Okay, so moving swiftly on to number two. Sue, do you want to read number two for us? Kindly.
Can you scroll it down a bit, please?
Yeah, sorry, scroll it up here. So read the first, the original version, and then the alternative.
Yep. Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you see. Wishes of the ego gave rise to it, and the ego's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack you and call for righteous judgment. These figures become the middlemen the ego employs to traffic in grievances. They stand between your awareness and your brother's reality. Holding them, you do not know your brothers or yourself.
Okay, and then the alternative.
Idle wishes and grievances are partners or co-makers in picturing the world you perceive.
Okay. Makes sense?
Yeah.
So the idle wishes are the desires of the ego, and the grievances are what they call in Buddhism aversion. It's where you something's not going your way. Usually have an expectation based on an idle wish, and then you have a grievance that your expectation is not met, and then you have what's called aversion or resistance, and a negative emotional reaction towards someone or something. And these are the partners or co-makers of this world that we perceive.
Yeah. The wishes of the belief in separation gave rise to it, and the belief in separation's need for grievances, which are necessary to maintain it, peoples it with figures that seem to attack you and call for righteous judgment.
Oh, okay, just pause there because that's quite a meaty. Does that make sense in terms of our metaphysics? Let's actually go back to the. I'll just bring up the diagram, I think, so that we can reference to that because it's quite useful to do that. Okay, so where are we? 19. So he's saying the idle wishes gave rise to it. So remember, we talked about desire. The desire for this crazy idea, for our own identity, was what gave rise to it. So desire is at the source of it, and then the grievances keep it going, maintain it. So guilt is underpins the individual self, which was we desired, and then those grievances, which are really guilt projected outwards onto these middlemen, the traffic in grievances. So then we project it onto our brothers and sisters in this world to maintain the guilt. So we keep giving the guilt to them. We're saying, you're the guilty ones, you're going to be punished, not me. And of course that entrenches guilt and sin, which underpins the individuality that was just an idle wish. Okay, so you see how it's all quite tightly organized within the ego's delusional system. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it just makes sense. Yeah.
Okay. Happy with that, Sue?
Yeah.
Okay, so let's continue with number 2.
These figures become the middlemen the belief in separation employs to traffic in grievances. So they're our brothers. They stand between your awareness and your brother's reality. Beholding them, you do not know your brothers or yourself. So all we're seeing is the grief, the attack, the judgment, the guilt, the fear. We're not actually seeing our brothers or ourselves as we truly are.
And he's making the clear connection between idle wishes, what he calls idle wishes. So these are the false desires of the ego, the expectations, really. Expectations and grievances are partners or co-makers in this trafficking in grievances. Because if you think about it, you can't have a grievance unless you have an expectation first. Why would you be upset if you didn't have an expectation that something should be a certain way? You just wouldn't, would you? So the job here is to let go of those expectations, and the grievances will go with it. If you have no expectations about anyone or anything, how can you have a grievance?
Yeah.
But they're kind of deep-seated, aren't they? We sort of have these expectations built into the egoic thought system, and they seem to be true. Or, people should behave right, behave nicely. People should do what they say they should do. People should, all this kind of stuff. And actually, no. It's like, why? Who says that? You've just set that up, and then you judge them. And this is the game we play. We set up expectations that on a level our ego knows are not going to be met. And so then grievances are going to be the logical result of that.
Mm.
And we play this game without realizing that we're actually doing it consciously. So he's just bringing it into awareness and saying, look, this is actually what you're doing. Playing this game of trafficking in grievances and keeping yourself separate from your brothers. And so you don't know your brothers or your true self.
Yeah.
And this keeps you locked into the ego's thought system. Okay, happy with that? Makes sense? Any questions?
That's good.
The language is like, it's interesting, isn't it? That word trafficking, it reminds me of sort of drug trafficking.
Yeah, exactly.
And
It's
nobody
good.
is benefiting. It's an evil traffic. And when
Yeah.
I was listening to this morning, I thought, oh, I'm not going to be anybody's messenger. You know, I'm not doing this.
Yeah,
I'm not
Yeah.
going to carry this stuff and send it out into the world.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah. It's quite a good use of a word there,
Yeah.
because it traffic in grievances. You know, we associate trafficking in this world with your drug trafficking or the sex slave industry. These kinds of really dark
Yeah.
that really add no value to anyone. They just create a lot of misery and suffering.
Yeah.
That's what he's saying. This is the ego's trafficking in grievances, which makes you pause and think and say, well, okay, I may not be doing drug trafficking, but am I actually doing anything useful here? If I'm trafficking in grievances, then I'm not actually bringing any light or truth into the world at all. I'm just contributing to the darkness of the ego.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so you want to read number 3?
Okay. Your will is lost to you in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increase with each exchange. Can such a world have been created by the will the Son of God shares with his Father? Did God create disaster for his Son? Creation is the will of both together. Would God create a will that kills himself? Or your true awareness is lost to you in this strange bartering in which guilt is traded back and forth and grievances increase with each exchange. Can such a world have been created by the awareness, the extension of love shares with its source? Did love create disaster for its extension? Extension is the awareness of both together. Would love create a world that kills itself?
Yeah, it's quite powerful, isn't it?
It is. It's a powerful set of questions, and it seems he calls us to think about this surreal world in which we have been part and are, well, speaking for myself, try to pull away from this trade in guilt. Again, trade, trafficking, very much descriptive of this ego world where if I'm trading, I expect something back, but my currency is pretty toxic.
Yeah, grievances increase with each exchange. Wow, so guilt increases with each exchange. I mean, is that something you really want to get involved in? Trading grievances, but that's what we do. If you're not in the Spirit, you're guided by the Holy Spirit, then this is what
Yeah.
most people spend their lives doing.
Yeah.
And of course, it's not helpful for them, for anyone. They're not ever going to be happy. But this is what they think is life. This is the ego's version of life that it's given us, and says, this is it. This is your world. And he's saying, well, really? Like, just ask a few questions here. Could love have created a world like this?
Yeah.
Love have created disaster for its own extension? Could pure formless awareness have created disaster for itself? Like, does this make any sense, really? If you really question it.
And
So
of
with
course
these
it doesn't
questions,
make any
he's starting
sense.
to yeah, he's starting to get us to question the ego's thought systems. And no, it really it doesn't make sense. The idea that love would do this doesn't make any sense. So then the only possible logical conclusion you can come to is that love didn't do it. Ah, okay. So now we're getting somewhere because love didn't do it. Something else did it. Okay. So what's the something else? Well, that's the ego or the belief in separation. And it has nothing to do whatsoever, nothing at all to do with love at all. So don't try and reconcile it. So this world has nothing to do with the will of God or the awareness of love at all,
Mm-hmm.
which makes it much easier to deal with. So you're like, okay, well, I don't have to try and reconcile the irreconcilable. I've been trying to do that for a very long time and failing. You never will. It's saying just see it as it is, see the split as it is, and then make your choice accordingly,
Quite so.
which is quite simple, as opposed to trying to reconcile the irreconcilable forever and never succeeding, because you can try and try and try as you might. There's many dualistic spiritual paths that try, and they've all failed. You'll never do it. You can't reconcile love and guilt and fear. Love and grievances and idle wishes don't go together. Okay.
Yeah, it's really powerful, and I realize
Yeah,
I've got
that's
longer to walk than I thought I did to get my train. So
right. You
I'm
got to
going to
go.
leave you now and listen in.
Well, why
as I
don't
sit in
you
airport.
listen in as you walk? Just
Yeah,
keep
good.
your phone on. Yeah.
Okay. All right, cool. Will
Great.
do.
Join in again if you can in a few paragraphs. Okay, so good paragraph that. Number 4, John.
Today we will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with your will. The light is in it because it does not oppose the will of God. It is not heaven, but the light of heaven shines on it. Darkness has vanished. The ego's idle wishes have been withdrawn. Yet the light that shines upon this world reflects your will. And so it must be in you that we will look for it. Alternatively, today we will try once more to reach the world that is in accordance with your true awareness. This awareness is in it because it does not oppose the awareness of low pure formless awareness. It is not the perfect state of pure formless awareness, but the memory of this state shines on it. Limited awareness has vanished. The belief in separation's idle wishes have been withdrawn. Yet the true awareness that shines upon this world reflects your awareness. And so it must be in you that we look for it.
Okay.
So it's saying here that we're trying again in today's lesson to reach the light. This isn't the pure light of pure formless awareness, but it's close to it. It's the place in which darkness has gone and the ego's wishes have been withdrawn. Yeah.
So this is the aim of this course. He's saying, I'm going to train you to have this awareness, to perceive everything from true awareness in your mind, to perceive it truly. And so this awareness then shines upon everything you perceive, because you're perceiving from that state. And this is miracle mindedness. This is correct perception, true perception, miracle mindedness, seeing the real world. These are all terms that he uses to describe the state of true awareness or true perception. We must look within you. So it's not perfect heaven. It's not the perfect state, but it's a reflection of it. So it's the memory of it. And now that memory underlies whatever you perceive in this world. So this is the Holy Spirit, or the remembrance of oneness. that now underlies all of your perceptions and gets you to perceive everything differently from a perspective of oneness rather than from the belief in separation. So yeah, it's very simple, the concept, but to actually do it is the practice of this course. So, okay, so how do you actually do this? How do you let go of the ego's idle wishes and grievances and just see from the state of pure formless awareness, even though you're looking on a world of chaos, seemingly, and madness? And how do you maintain that awareness no matter what? That's really what the mind training is for. Okay, does that make sense?
Yep, it's fine.
Questions on that? Can you give us a little summary of that?
What he's saying is that in today's lesson, we're seeking to connect with the light. It isn't God, but it is the light that shines from God, and in so doing, darkness vanishes. And our ego's idle wishes are withdrawn.
So darkness is just unawareness of the truth. Darkness is belief in separation, belief in the ego's idle wishes and grievances. That's how it plays out in our mind. Belief in separation wants us to believe in these false desires it gives us, and then the grievances that it holds, and that of course keeps the belief system intact and us away from the awareness of this pure formless awareness that's in our minds. Okay, happy with that? Number 5.
Your picture of the world can only mirror what is within. Of neither light nor darkness can be found without. Grievances darken your mind, and you look out on a darkened world. Forgiveness lifts the darkness, reasserts your will, and lets you look upon a world of light. We have repeatedly emphasized that the barrier of grievances is easily passed and cannot stand between you and your salvation. The reason is very simple. Do you really want to be in hell? Do you really want to weep and suffer and die? So, translation is, your picture of the world can only mirror what is within. The source of neither true awareness nor limited awareness can be found without. Grievances limit your awareness, and you perceive a limited world. Letting go lifts the limits to your awareness, reasserts your true awareness, and lets you perceive the world true awareness shows you. We have repeatedly emphasized that the barrier of grievances is easily passed and cannot stand between you and your awakening. The reason is very simple. Do you really want to be a victim? Do you really want to weep and suffer and die?
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah, I think he's asking us to perceive a different world from the world that we're seeing now. Grievances are getting in the way of us seeing our true awareness.
Yeah.
So by forgiving and letting go, we can reassert our true awareness and see the light. Jesus is saying, we've repeatedly emphasized that the barrier of grievances is easily passed. So it's not difficult. We just have to practice doing it.
Because it's purely in your own perception. Grievance is in your own mind and nowhere else.
Yeah.
By saying the source of neither true awareness nor limited awareness can be found without. So it doesn't matter what's happening outside of you. It's how you perceive it That's matters.
Mm.
And if you choose to hold grievances, then you perceive in a very limited way. So it's limited awareness. Your mind feels limited. You feel contracted. You feel constricted. There's certainly no pure formless awareness. It's not a happy state, but it's within your power to let that go. Okay, so I'm aware all it is a thought emotion. What's a grievance? It's a thought, an emotion, an energy state that doesn't feel good, to be honest. So just let it go. Drop the feeling. All it is a feeling in you, and the trigger is irrelevant. So it's a really, really simple practice.
Yeah.
When you boil it down, this letting. Okay, just let go of the thought and the feeling that blocks your pure formless awareness. It's that simple. The trigger doesn't matter. It's not outside of you. The feeling is arising. The thought feeling is arising within you. It's in your own mind, and it's a result of a choice. Okay? The choice is I choose to interpret this situation from the belief in separations perspective. And then, yes, a grievance will naturally arise because that's what it does. Okay, so I have a choice here. I can reinterpret it. If the belief in separation isn't true, if only oneness is true, only pure formless awareness is true, then none of this is true. I can simply deny. I don't focus on the error, you see. I simply go, the error is not important. There's a feeling here. I'm aware of it, and I can release the feeling using a combination of the lesson. You use your breath, and you release that thought feeling. And then you feel that there's a clarity, there's an awareness that's arising. So, oh, okay, that feels lighter, it feels freer. You use these terms light to really point to an inner state. It's got nothing to do with physical light. It's just an inner state that feels lighter, that feels freer. So again, the theory is very simple, but so is the practice. Just let go of whatever the limited awareness is, whatever that feeling is that limits your awareness. Become aware of it and choose to let it go. What could be simpler, you would say? But human beings struggle with this. We really struggle to have this clarity of awareness, to be able to really see, okay, yes, this is darkness, this is limited awareness. I don't want this. I'm going to let it go. And so this mind training is just identifying it for us, saying, well, the grievances and the idle wishes, these are what you need to be aware of, because these are not going to help you. These are limited awareness. So as you become aware of them, you need to let them go. Question?
No.
No? And I translated being in hell as being a victim, because that's actually what it means. The victim is very identified with his or her little self, and hell is the helpless innovator little life that you think you're leading. And a victim identity is going to give you that. And we talked about the grandiosity of the ego is really just the counter to the victim. Actually, you still believe you're a victim. You've tried to counter that with grandiosity, but you still underlying it believe in this helpless, innovated little self, and that's hell. So again, let's get clear and very specific. That's what it means. Hell means identifying yourself as this character, and then of course all the limitation, the lack, the loneliness, the suffering that he talks about that comes with it. You really want to weep and suffer and die, because that's what victims do, and believe that this cruel world is doing it to you. And he's saying, your grievances and your idle wishes make this world, they make you a victim. So just let them go. Okay, happy with number 5?
Yeah. Number 6.
Let's see if Iona's
Yeah.
available or not. Iona, can you do something, or are you on the move?
Hi. I am pretty much on the move.
Yeah, where are you?
I'm in Brixton, and I'm just picking up luggage, and then I'm going to trundle away again through the streets. So this is very good. very good to
Okay.
listen to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. Can you read
Okay.
or not? Should John read?
Could John read, please? Thank
Yeah,
you.
no problem.
Thank you.
Okay. So number 6, John.
Forget the ego's arguments which seek to prove all this is really heaven. You know it is not. You cannot want this for yourself. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Suffering is not happiness, and it is happiness you really want. Such is your will in truth, and so salvation is your will as well. You want to succeed in what we are trying to do today. We undertake it with your blessing and your glad accord. Alternatively, forget the belief in separation's arguments, which seem to prove all this is really pure formless awareness. You know it is not so. You cannot want this for yourself. There is a point beyond which illusions cannot go. Suffering is not happiness, and it is happiness you really want. Such is your awareness in truth, and so awakening to this awareness is your desire as well. You want to succeed in what we are trying to do today. Undertake it with your blessing and glad accord.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
Yeah. It's saying, to me, it's saying that the ego can offer some tempting ideas, but there is very much a point beyond which they don't go, they fail. And is acknowledging that we want to take the right path to happiness.
So saying, just look at this honestly and saying, suffering isn't happiness, and recognize that nothing the ego is gonna give you is actually gonna allay the suffering. In fact, it just entrenches the suffering. That's happiness you really want. So this is your world, this is your true desire. Awakening to this awareness is your desire. He's saying, remember what you really want. You do want to succeed. You do want to do this. I'm not coercing you. I'm not forcing you. You're doing this willingly because you want happiness, and this is the only way to happiness. So a little kind of motivational paragraph there, and saying, look, just forget the belief in separation's arguments that seem to prove this is all really heaven. And of course, it's ridiculous. How can a world where people suffer and get sick and die be heaven? So it's not possible. It is not so. So just asking us to be very honest in our perception of the ego, and then the choice for the Holy Spirit, the awareness of oneness, becomes obvious. Okay, happy with number 6?
Yeah.
We will succeed today if you remember you want salvation for yourself. You want to accept God's plan because you share in it. You have no will that can really oppose it, and you do not want to do so. Salvation is for you. Above all else, you want the freedom to remember who you really are. Today, it is the ego that stands powerless before your will. So the alternative, we will succeed today if you remember that you want to awaken. You want to accept love's plan. No awareness that can really oppose it, and you do not want to do so. Awakening is for you. Above all else, you want the freedom to remember who you really are. Today, it is the belief in separation that stands powerless before your true awareness. Your awareness is free and nothing can prevail against it.
Okay. Any thoughts on that?
This is the call to awaken.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's reminding us we want to do this, really. It's a little bit of motivation. So you really want to do it. It's for you. Above all else, this is what you want. And today it is the belief in separation that stands powerless before your true awareness. Your awareness is free and nothing can prevail against it. So these are affirmations. You notice, the way he teaches, he uses questions and then he also uses affirmations quite a lot. So saying, we'll state the truth and we'll also question. And both methodologies are quite effective in helping you to change your mind. And then, so the questioning precedes, and now he's saying, right, affirmation, you really want this. Remember what you want. Freedom is your will. This is for you. You've chosen it, and nothing can prevail against it. So a little like kind of pep talk there.
Yeah.
Okay, happy with that?
Yeah.
Number 8.
Therefore, undertake the exercises for day in happy confidence, certain that we will find what it is your will to find. And remember, it is your will to remember. No idle wishes can detain us, nor deceive us with an illusion of strength. Today, let your will be done, and end forever the insane belief that it's hell in place of heaven that you choose. Alternatively, therefore, we undertake the exercises for today in happy confidence, certain that we will find what it is your intention to find, and remember what it is your desire to remember. No idle wishes can detain us, nor deceive us with an illusion of strength. Today, let your true awareness be established. End forever the insane belief that it is victimhood in place of pure formless awareness that you choose.
Okay, any thoughts on that?
Another motivational driver, sort of saying, today we will find what we seek. We will find the peace. We will find the understanding, and let go of the illusions that are dragging us back.
Yeah. And again, I translated hell as victimhood.
Yeah.
And forever the insane belief as victimhood in place of pure forms of awareness that you choose. Which, look at the diagram. Victimhood, you choose to be this little helpless, enervated little life, living in limitation, lack, loneliness, and suffering. Like, why would you choose that instead of pure formless awareness? That just makes no sense when you look at those choices. So again, he's contrasting it and saying, just you want this. You want this above all else. You actually don't want any of this, because the ego's idle wishes and the grievances are what make it the merry-go-round keep going. The un-merry-go-round, we should call it.
Yeah.
And notice that the desire, idle wishes, is what kicked it off. So that's now entrenched in the system. We have all these desires which maintain this desire for separation. And the grievances are what make guilt real. And guilt then underpins the individual self that you desired. So it's all built into the egoic thought system. at its very foundation to keep the thought system going, because that was how it originated, with desire and then guilt, and then the grievance is the projection of the guilt outwards. So yeah, does that make sense? I think are the metaphysics making more sense to you? Because this is how it practically plays out in your life.
Yeah,
It's like, it's not just a metaphysical theory. This is how it actually works now in the ego world, because this is the basis of the foundation of the ego's thought system. That's what it keeps doing over and over again.
Yeah, I think it's how it works that is important.
Yeah, exactly. The metaphysics are useless if they don't help you to actually undo the ego.
Yeah.
But they do. If you understand, okay, the desire and the grievances, these are the co-makers, and they're at the very foundation of the ego's thought system, metaphysically. Okay, so if I do this in every instance where the idle wishes and the grievances show up, then I am undoing this belief. I'm undoing my belief in the tiny mad idea, systematically and progressively. And this is how I free my mind, ultimately, from this crazy idea that I am something separate from God or love. So the metaphysics make sense, and they tie up with the theory. And really, like, the course is brilliant in that sense, because he makes this integral connection between them. It's saying, it's not just theory for the sake of abstract theory or theology. That's not what it's about. So understanding the theory helps you to practice this and apply it in your life, and actually undo the ego moment by moment through this practice of letting go of it. And I haven't seen a teaching that is this clear about, okay, let's connect theory with practice in one kind of integral thought system that you can really apply in your daily life to free your mind. It's an amazing thought system he's put together for us to counter, well, I guess it needs to be, because the ego seems to have so much power. It seems to be, running our lives in the world, that, we need something really good to undo it. And Jesus has given that to us in the course. Okay, so any thoughts on that, number 8?
No, it's good.
Happy with that? Okay, so we go into the practice now. We've got about 20 minutes before the power goes off. So shall we go into a meditation?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so just what am I doing? Okay, so just making yourself comfortable, sitting, feet shoulder width apart, keep your back straight, cup your hands on your lap, or standing up, John, in your case, close your eyes. And start off as usual with a nice deep breath in through the nose. So just breathing in, noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. And the subtle flow of air in through the nostrils, just clenching the sphincter muscle so you lock the energy in. Just draw the energy up the spine into your heart center. Put one hand on your heart to connect with your heart space. Just breathing the energy in, drawing it up, all the way up the spine into the crown of your head. So pausing at the top of the inhale. And just begin with a recognition that God's or love's plan for awakening, and only it, is wholly in accord with your will or true awareness. It is not the purpose of an alien power that's thrust upon you unwillingly. It is the one purpose here in which you and your source are in perfect accord. So you will succeed today, which is the time appointed for the release of the extension of this loving presence, this pure formless awareness, from victimhood and from all idle wishes. Your true awareness is now restored to your awareness. you're willing this very day to look upon the light or the true awareness in you and be awakened. So exhale and just have a sense of letting go of all the idle wishes, the desires of the ego, desires and expectations for some kind of form outcome that's an idle wish. Blow that away, and at the same time the grievances that arise when your idle wishes are not met, your expectations are not fulfilled, then we have grievances. So just blowing them all away with the breeze of your breath into the nothingness they really are. Expel the last remaining air out. And just rest here for a few moments. Peace in the stillness. Beyond idle wishes and grievances. And so now reminding yourself that you really do want the light of truth, of pure formless awareness. Determining to keep this will clearly in mind. Tell yourself with gentle firmness and quiet certainty, I will there be light. Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine, or alternatively, I choose only true awareness. Let me perceive the true awareness that reflects love's awareness and mine. I choose that now. And then let your true awareness, the light in you, assert itself. Join with the power of love or your own pure formless awareness, united with yourself. With the rest of the practice period under their guidance. Join with them as they lead the way. So just merge your mind with this true awareness, this underlying awareness of love, and let go into that awareness. There's nowhere else to go, there's nothing else to do, nothing else to think about for the next few minutes. Just breathe, relax, be still. Observe the breath flowing in and out through your nostrils. Remind yourself, I will there be light. I choose only my true awareness. So let me perceive only this awareness that reflects love's awareness and mine. And give yourself a few minutes just to do that in quiet and peace and stillness. If any thoughts, idle wishes, expectations, or any grievances, that's aversion to anything, something's not happening as you think it should, these idle wishes and grievances arise, just notice them. Breathe into them. So breathing in the light, your true awareness of your source, and dissipating them with this awareness. Imagine they're like dark clouds. You're just going to blow them away with the breeze of your breath into the nothingness that they really are. So exhale and just release them with the breeze of your breath to the nothingness they really are. Letting them all go. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. And so you're beyond the clouds, you're in the light. If it helps, you can visualize that you're in this blue sky. It's just the light of your source shining through it. Let that light stream through your awareness. Merge with the light. The light is you, you are the light. Nowhere else to go, nothing else to do for the next few minutes. Just be in the light of your true awareness. So will there be light? Let me behold the light that reflects God's will and mine. Or, in other words, I choose only true awareness. Let me perceive the true awareness that reflects love's awareness and mine. And give yourself over to that. There's nothing else to do, nowhere else to go, nothing more valuable that you can do in the next few minutes than just to connect with this awareness, be in this awareness of your true awareness, pure formless awareness. Let it arise in your mind, fully, wholly, and completely for the next couple of minutes of deep silence. So just gently bringing your awareness back into the body and the breath and the senses, and via these to the world. But you're doing it from this deeper awareness, this light within you. Staying connected to the light. And as you bring your awareness back into the world. So on the count of 3, you're going to open your eyes. 1, just breathing in. Noticing how the stomach rises and the chest rises. Subtle flow of air in through the nostrils. Just pausing at the top of the inhale. Smile. Scan your mind. Again, notice any thoughts, any emotions going on, any sensations. Notice any idle wishes or grievances. Observe the thoughts, the emotions, the body sensations, and just be willing to let them go. Remind yourself that I will there be light, or I choose only true awareness is another way of saying that. So let me behold the light or perceive the true awareness that reflects God's will or love's awareness and mine. And just blow them away with the breeze of your breath like dark clouds, leaving you into the nothingness they really are. Notice how the energy subsides down the front channel of your body, coming to rest in your lower stomach and your groin. Pull the lower stomach into the spine. Expel the last remaining air out. Just rest here, peace and stillness in the gap between breaths. On the count of 2, notice the weight of your body pressing down into the chair, your feet touching the ground. Notice what you're feeling, touching with your hands. Maybe there's a subtle taste in your mouth, a smell in your nose. Breathing in. Again, a count of 2. Notice the energy rising up the spine, clench the sphincter muscle. Put one hand on your heart center. Notice the feeling of your hand on your heart, the energy in your body, this warm wave of energy rising up the spine. Another sip of air, draw it all the way up into the crown of your head. Pausing at the top of the inhale, noticing what you're hearing. Just allow whatever your sense perceptions show you to arise and pass away. This is without attachment. You don't make them real. You just let them arise and pass away, and so you stay rooted in your pure formless awareness, the true awareness that underlies all sense perceptions. Just stay in that, stay connected to that, set the intention to stay there for the rest of the afternoon and evening until our evening session. To help you do that, practice today's lesson frequently. Jesus recommends several times an hour. It only needs to take a few seconds. If you have a bit longer, I've given you a couple of breath break recordings, 3 and 4 minutes, to be able to do it. So listen to those a couple of times if you can, or just bring the idea to mind in a few seconds and say, will there be light? Or if you prefer, I choose only true awareness. Let me perceive only the light or true awareness that reflects God's will or love's awareness and mine. And if there's any grievance, just blow it away with that intention. That should keep you in the light of your true awareness, a very happy flowing state, which is what I wish for you until our evening session. So on the count of 3, open your eyes, take a minute just to look around, notice the light that's in everything that you carry with you. Doesn't matter what you're looking at, light, true awareness underlies it. So notice it, connect with it, anchor it into your awareness, and set the intention to stay there for the rest of the afternoon and evening. So that brings us to the end of the session, meditation, and this afternoon session. I will see you a bit later.
Yes, thank you, Jono.
Thank you, Jono.
If we can start on time, I'd really appreciate that, because I need to speak to my wife, and she doesn't like it if it's too late. She needs to go to bed. So can we start at 7:30 sharp? Is that okay?
We can. Yeah.
Okay. It's quite a short section, so we should get it done in about an hour and a half. Okay.
Yep,
Will do.
See you
good.
later. Have a nice
Cheers,
afternoon.
Jono.
Okay. Bye for now.